Hi, this is Dan from Magic Pachinko Restorations, and this video is giving you an opportunity to get a good look at this 1975 Sanyo Comet II Pachinko machine. This is a fully restored Pachinko machine, and as I show you the bits and pieces, you'll see what was done to the machine. These machines get extremely dirty both internally and on the outside when they are in the pachinko machines, and then typically with these machines being 45 years old, quite typically they get stored in somebody's attic or garage for many years and just accumulate more and more dust and dirt. Internally they suffer from smoke residue and body oil residue, and that really actually turns them black on the inside. Tends to gum stuff up so that it doesn't function properly. So in my opinion, to do a full restore to make sure that the machine will work, I take everything that you see off of the machine, completely clean it, and then reassemble it onto the machine. So you can tell by looking at the machine how clean it is. There's no rust or dirt or anything on the machine at all. There is a little chip out of the formica. That's again part of the patina, if you will, of something that's 45 years old. If you lift up on the lever that's in the back, you can open up the front door. This is plexiglass. Some of the machines have glass, but most of the glass has been broken years ago and replaced with plexiglass. The play features all get taken off, all of this plastic, all of the nails get pulled out. These get tumbled so that they get all nice and bright and shiny again, and then reinstalled, and there's a process for aligning the nails so that when the balls drop through they don't get hung up anywhere. That's all been done. Internally, all of these get taken apart and cleaned because they do tend to load up and get a lot of black smoke and dirt and so on and so forth in them. This all gets torn apart. The ball handling mechanism comes off, all gets taken apart. Every individual piece gets cleaned. All of these pivot points here tend to be brass rods, and they get very heavily corroded over time. Those all get cleaned so that they're again bright and shiny. There's no resistance at all in any of the pivot points, as there should be. No resistance. This is the upper tray, the lower tray, and then this is the launch mechanism. So that's what the front of the machine looks like. I will turn this around, show you the back side of the machine, and also load up the balls so that you see how that works. So again, everything that you see on the back side of this machine, all of this plastic, all the wiring gets taken off. All of the plastic gets thoroughly cleaned. This is the inside of the plastic is where it gets really dirty. That all gets cleaned. I wax all of the plastic. I put a coat of wax on it so that it stays clean, keeps the dirt from accumulating back over time. Once the board has been stripped completely down, then I sand the back side of the board and put a couple of coats of polyurethane on it. All of the metal parts get taken off and polished, get rid of all the rust, to the point where I take the rust off of all of the screws. So most all of these screws that you see are original. They just have had the rust taken off of them. The outer cabinet here is made of red mahogany. This all gets taken apart. These all come off, thoroughly cleaned. The boards are usually very rough. These were mass produced, so the Japanese didn't do a lot of finishing work on these. They tended to be very rough. So I run these through a plane, sand them down, and then polyurethane them. Give them a couple of coats of polyurethane so that they'll stay nice. They won't absorb any moisture and be nice and smooth. So this is the guts of the machine, if you will. There are two lights on this machine. There is a light right in here that will light when you do make a jackpot, and I'll show you that when we go back to the front side. There's another light up here that is what's called the ball out light, so that when you first fire up your pachinko machine with power, and power is simply a 9-volt battery, Very easy to replace. So you just hook up the 9-volt battery. And you notice that this light comes on right now. There are no balls in the machine. So this switch here makes that bulb come on. So I'm going to add some pachinko balls, and this tends to be kind of noisy. Now, once enough pachinko balls are in that it fills up this entire run, then this switch this pushes down, turns the light off, so that you know you have enough balls in the machine to play. So if you do purchase this machine, the first thing you're going to want to do is go back on eBay and order some pachinko balls. I recommend anywhere from 300 to 500, depending on how many you want to buy. The best way to do that is simply sort it by price and shipping being lowest. All the pachinko balls are the same. There's no difference between the pachinko balls. So now that you've got the machine loaded with pachinkos, they go down and they stop here at what's called the jackpot chamber. There are 14 balls, 7 on each side of the jackpot chamber, that will be released when a prize, if you will, is made. As you play, a losing ball will exit the machine out of this chute here. This is a catch box. This comes with the pachinko machine. You do have to have that behind it, and the balls will drop out into the catch box. After a while, you're simply going to take the balls that are in the catch box, dump them back up into the supply tray, and continue to play. So let's get it turned around. I'll show you the machine in action. So you take a handful of balls, place them into the upper tray, and start to launch them. Now, the first time you try to launch, it won't launch a ball. It takes one cycle to actually launch a ball. So I got lucky on the first ball. It went into what's called a tulip. These are the tulips. And what I ended up with is 14 balls came out as my prize. So that's the object of the game, is to bet, if you will, one ball. And you hope to win 14 balls. That time you didn't, and the ball exits the machine out the back side. So you can play this one ball at a time, which is the way I prefer to do it, and watch them as they drop. Or if you prefer, you can launch these quite rapidly. And again, every time you put a ball into one of these areas, and here, you will get a 14-ball prize, and the light will light. Now, as you play and this pays out, it takes the balls from the upper tray and depletes them, and eventually the light you saw on before, which is up in here, will light, and that just tells you need to take some of the balls from the front of the machine or the ball catcher and place them back up in the top tray up here. These do have a key lock on them, but when the machines came to the United States, they didn't come with keys, because at the time they were still using the keys in Japan. So it's rare that you'll see a pachinko machine with a key, but these are set up so that you don't need a key to unlock them. There are two ways to use this machine. You can either use it as a freestanding machine. In that case, you would just simply want to cut a couple of boards, maybe a foot long or so, and you just put one under the machine on this side and one under the machine on that side, and just screw them to the bottom so that it gives this machine stability. Right now, this is not real stable. You wouldn't want to, you could, but you'd want to keep a good eye on it, especially if people were playing it. The other option is to build a cabinet slightly larger than the outside dimensions of the machine and about 8 inches deep. Mount that onto the wall and then set this entire unit in there and put a couple of screws to hold it in place. I have that in my home. I have one mounted on the wall in my house. Pachinko is a nice game for anybody to play. Young children, as long as they can do this, they can play Pachinko. There's really no skill involved. Obviously, there's some technique for there we go, getting a ball to stay on one side or launching it so that it goes over to the other side. That is adjustable on the back side. So if you end up purchasing this machine, we will ship this to you priority mail. What you're being charged is for partial select. I upgrade you to priority mail, so typically you'll get the machine in 2 days, and I will also insure the machine for its entire value at my cost. You don't have to pay for that. The only thing you would have to do is buy some Pachinko balls. After the fact, I'm available anytime by phone, email. I will stand behind this product for as long as we're both around. So buy with confidence. If you'd like to see more of what I've done, you can go to my Facebook page, which is simply facebook.com/Magic Pachinko Restorations, and you can see some of the other machines that I've done. Thank you very much for your time.